Okay, here comes a dilution tutorial. What you need to know about dilution, well, first you need to know the dilution equation. The dilution equation is M1 times V1 equals M2 times V2, meaning the molarity of the first solution times the volume of that initial solution will always equal the new molarity of the second solution times the volume of that second solution. So let's think about what dilution is. When you hear the word dilution, you should think about adding water, adding volume. So because molarity, the equation is moles divided by liters, if you increase liters, you increase volume, you're going to increase this number on the bottom of this fraction, and molarity will decrease. You will dilute it, so the concentration goes down. So when you dilute a solution, you're increasing the volume to decrease the molarity. So let's take a look at this problem. What volume of a 6.58 molar hydrochloric acid solution is needed to make 500 milliliters of a 3 molar hydrochloric acid solution? So this is a dilution problem because we are starting with an original molarity of 6.58. And we have a target molarity, 3 molar, which is less. It is a dilution. So in order to go from 6.58 molar to 3 molar, we're going to have to increase the volume by increasing the amount of water in this solution. So first we need to figure out what our M1, V1, M2, V2 is. Well, the higher molarity is going to be your M1. The lower molarity is your M2 because that is your goal. That is the concentration you're trying to get to. The volume that is connected to molarity 2 is the volume 2. And so in this problem, we are looking for volume 1, meaning how much of the stock solution of the 6.58 molar hydrochloric acid would you need to make this dilution. So let's write what we've got down the side. M1, V1, M2, V2. So 6.58 molar. We do not know how much volume of our stock solution we're going to need. The second molarity is 3, and the second volume is 500 milliliters. Now in an M1V1 problem, as long as the units are the same, you can use milliliters. So if we're looking for the volume and our first volume is in milliliters, we can leave it. Just know that your volume that you are going to solve for will also be in milliliters. So this is algebra. If we need to solve for V1, we're going to isolate it, meaning we need to move M1 away. Well, you do that with opposite operation, division. So to solve V1, it is M2 times V2 over M1. So we're going to plug in our numbers. All right, so V1 is equal to 3 times 500 divided by 6.58. So the volume needed is going to be 228 milliliters. So what this is saying, to take a 6.58 molar solution and dilute it to 3 molar, you will only need 228 milliliters of that stock solution. But we will need to increase the volume up to 500. And here is the key point of dilution. If we only need 228 milliliters of the stock solution, but our final solution is going to be 500 milliliters, that tells us how much water we need to add to make our dilution. So, in order to make our dilution, we would take 228 milliliters of the stock solution, and we would put it into a volumetric flask or a graduated cylinder, something that we can measure, and we would add water until we get to 500 milliliters to know that we've made our dilution. So sometimes you need to know how much that is. Well, you just do 500 minus 228. So the rest of our volume to make our dilution will be 272 milliliters of water. We would need 228 milliliters of our 6.58 molar. Our 272 milliliters of water, when you add that together, you would get your dilution, the goal you were trying to get to in the first place.